Right from the opening, we already have a money issue that could completely change the direction of this hearing. The judge realizes that the payments being discussed may not be unpaid support at all, they may actually be payments that were already made. And that distinction matters. If money has already been paid, the question becomes whether the proper credit was given when calculating the alleged arrears. Keep watching because this hearing is about to turn into a very detailed fight over dates, living arrangements, and exactly who gets credit for what.
And I was thinking this money was money that hadn't been paid. It's money that has been paid. So that kind of flips the script on this one. Is there anything else? All right. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, sir.
I do.
All right.
I
Both of
do.
you. All right. You're both officially under oath. So at this time, I'll go ahead and let the state call you individually. At the end of the hearing, if there's anything else either of you think I need to know that didn't come out in your general testimony, so long as it's relevant to this, what we're doing here today, I will take that testimony, well, either as testimony or a closing statement or closing argument, since you are technically representing yourselves as your own legal representatives. So at this time, I'll allow the state to go ahead and call your first witness, please.
Before I do, I'd like to offer what's been marked as States 1.
All right, folks, this is State Exhibit number 1. This is the information from the Rosebud Lot School showing what time frames the child subject to this suit was attending that school. Is there any legal reason this should not come into evidence at this time, Mr. Jones?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Lopez, any legal reason, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, States 1 submitted. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Lopez. Ms. Lopez, will you state your full name, please?
Summer Nicole Lopez.
Okay. And let's. I'm not trying to revisit the past more than necessary, but all right. So, from your perspective, when did your daughter go to live with Mr. Jones?
It was the last week of July, the first week of August of 2022.
Okay. And do you know how long your daughter lived with her? I'm sorry. Where was her father residing at the time?
He was living on Farish Avenue with his girlfriend.
Okay. Was it his house? Was it her house?
It's her house.
Okay.
And then which person? I'm sorry. What city?
Rosebud, Texas.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And approximately how long did your daughter live at that residence?
Maybe a week, maybe 2.
Okay. And where did your daughter go after that?
After that, she was sent to stay at her, on her grandmother's couch.
Okay, and her grandmother that's Mr. Jones's mother or your mother?
His mom.
Okay. And approximately so how. All right, so how long did she live at her grandmother's place?
She stayed there, I'd probably say school started in August 22. So I believe she was there from August 22 until February 24, 2024.
Okay. So I guess my understanding is that you had her for June and July of 2023. Is that right?
During the summertime and breaks, she goes back and forth. But yeah, we did vacation and everything else during that time.
Okay, but you had her for both those months. How long did you have her? Did you have her for the typical 4 weeks, or did you have her longer than that?
It was broken up. It was I know I had her, let's see, July, I believe. No, the end of yeah. So in June, it was June because we did our extended vacation. So yeah. June, I would say June, and also
Now this is where the timeline becomes extremely important. Mom says she withdrew her consent in November 2022, but the child apparently remained with the grandparents for much longer afterward. That creates an obvious question for the court. If permission was withdrawn, what happened next? In family law disputes, words matter, but conduct and documented timelines can matter too. The judge isn't simply asking who feels they were right, he's trying to establish what actually happened when it happened, and how those facts affect the support calculation.
End of May, she helped me with my youngest child. Yep.
Okay.
When school was out, so.
Okay. And then, all right. So I guess my notes, well, let me ask it this way. At what point did you withdraw your consent for her to be living where she was?
So I had sent, because when she went down there, it was with my understanding that she was going to be staying.
Let's start with the date, and then we can flush out the details.
Okay, it was November of 2022. I had texted him and let him know that I didn't think his mom could financially, I think it was putting a strain on his mom, is how I felt. And I said, I think she should come back.
And what was his response to that?
I do not recall. I do not recall if I even got a response. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay. I mean, and here's why I'm asking, because, well, let me ask. So you raised this issue. He didn't respond, or at least he didn't respond to your satisfaction. It sounds like. Why didn't you just up and withdraw her from school and go and re-enroll her in school in your area?
So at the time, I was also in the process of getting moved due to the circumstances of why she was down there. I was also in the process of getting moved. Like I said, that way she wouldn't be in the same school district as where the issues were occurring. And so basically he
yeah, and we're getting kind of vague here, so let's give the court a little more detail. So tell me if I understand it correctly. Your daughter was involved with a boy. You had real concerns. You didn't want her involved. Am I correct so far?
Correct.
All right. So this was part of the plan. Was you wanted her away from this boy? Is that right?
Yes, and her starting her sophomore year, she would have been going to high school, where I had been living at, which put her in the same school as the boy. She would have been her freshman year, and he would have been a senior, so they would have been in the same school together. And so I was trying to get moved to a different school district. I sold my house, and I was buying another house to try to get moved. So she wouldn't be, when she came home, she wouldn't be in that same school district, in that same circumstance she was in.
Okay. And when did you finally get moved?
Let's see, we closed, it was in October of 2022 when we closed on the house. Yeah, and that's basically, that's why I was letting him know in November that, I didn't think that she needed to be over there putting the strain on his mom, basically.
Okay. Okay, and then my understanding is you don't believe that Mr. Jones, because I guess what I'm asking it is this way: that the notes I have, and I realize that you worked with my child support officer the last time around. I have him getting credit through the parts of 22 that I mentioned, and then at least the school year of 2023. But I basically have your notes or her notes saying that you believe he.
And there's the dispute in a nutshell. Both sides appear to agree on the dates, but they disagree about what those dates actually mean for child support credit. Mom acknowledges the child was physically there, but argues that simply living in the same town shouldn't automatically earn data credit. That's a crucial distinction. A support credit argument usually depends on the specific circumstances and the applicable court order or law, not just a parent's personal belief about what seems fair. So now the judge has to separate emotion from the actual financial and custody timeline.
He should be getting credit for August through December of 2023. So is that correct or incorrect?
Correct.
So he should or should not get credit for August 23 through December 2023.
Are you asking about the dates, or if I'm agreeing to he should get credit for her living with him?
I'm asking if specifically for those dates, August of 23 through December 23, if he should get credit, the yay or nay.
I mean, the dates are correct. She was down there during those dates, but I don't believe he should get credit just for living in the same town.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So without getting into what your daughter said, did Mr. Jones tell you anything about the conditions at the grandparents' place?
No. All that I was finding out was through conversations and texts with my daughter.
Okay. All right. So do I understand correctly? Part of your argument is an equitable argument. You feel that the grandparents really did not do a good job keeping your daughter. Do I understand correctly?
I believe at the time there was a lot of people staying with them. They had a lot of their family living there, and
can I? So because I got to be careful with how I ask the question. So is that susceptible to a yes or no answer? And if so, could I get a yes or no answer?
Well, no. I mean, I wouldn't want her living in those conditions.
Right.
But
You didn't think it was a good situation. Agree.
Right. I was more than I was
Okay.
capable. Yeah.
Okay. So did anybody admit to underage drinking happening at the grandparents' place?
Well,
there's a process I got to follow. So if you can give me a yes or no, I would really appreciate it. I'm not trying to be difficult here, but the judge has made very clear to me that I have to ask the questions a certain way, which is what the law requires. So that's why I'm asking it the way I am. So can you give me a yes or no answer?
Yes, she has
Okay.
admitted to that.
All right. So I'm sorry. So your daughter admitted that there was underage drinking going on at the grandparents' place?
Yes.
On how many different occasions did she make such admissions?
Well, there's a legal ticket from the accident.
You're getting outside my question. Do you recall how many times she told you about underage drinking going on at the grandparents' place?
She's probably told me maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. Did anybody else besides your daughter make admissions about underage drinking happening at the grandparents' place?
Yes.
Okay. Who else?
Her cousin Icy.
Okay. Icy admitted to drinking, or she admitted to seeing alcohol being furnished to minors?
Well, I mean, yeah, she admitted to drinking. There's also the legal standpoint of she was also had the blood alcohol during the accident as well over there.
Okay. All right. But the accident you're bringing up, and I'm trying to be fine with this here. The accident didn't happen until I think the summer of 2024. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but what I'm getting at though, that you heard at least from several people admitted that underage drinking was happening at the grandparents' place, right?
Yes.
Anybody else besides your daughter, Icy, admit to underage drinking happening at the grandparents' place?
No.
Okay. Did anybody admit to anything else happening at the grandparents' place that was as significant or worse than underage drinking? And it's just yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, who admitted to something as bad or worse than underage drinking happening at the grandparents' place?
My daughter.
And what else did she admit to going on at that place?
She actually con- hmm. She actually, I had to take her to a doctor appointment. Uh, she contracted a,
That testimony just raised the stakes considerably. We're no longer talking only about whether a child lived at a particular address or whether dad should receive a financial credit. The witness has described an alleged incident that she says occurred while the child was under the grandparent's supervision. That's potentially significant, but remember, this is still testimony being presented in court, not a final finding that every allegation is true. The judge has to weigh the evidence, determine credibility, and decide what facts actually matter to the legal issue before him.
while there, I don't know how old the boy was or really who the boy was, but she did let me know that she
Right.
did.
I got it. She got it under the grandparents' watch. I got you. Okay, that definitely counts. Can you think of anything else?
No.
Okay, and I realize these are hard questions. Okay, other than your text message in November 2022, did you do anything else to express to Mr. Jones that you were withdrawing your consent for your daughter to be at the grandparents' place?
No, like I said, I didn't have any more conversations with him, just my daughter.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate it, ma'am. I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. Obviously, you said you removed your permission, but the child will still remain to live there for another year and 2 months or 3 months. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And how did that, and I understand you did have the child back on occasions, back and forth, things like that, but you did allow the child to remain there even after you withdrew your permission, ma'am. Is that my understanding of your testimony?
Yes, sir.
All right. And during that time frame, ma'am, we're talking about child support that you should have been receiving from the father from that time frame. And you did not receive any funds from him during that time frame, correct?
I received back child support and then the regular child support.
And so you received child support, regular child support for how long?
Yes, since our last court order, the child supports remain the same.
Right, but I'm talking about he's asking for credit during that time frame. During that time frame, were you still receiving child support through the state disbursement unit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so you did get the money, but he's asking for a credit, so to kind of put him in future pay is what we're probably looking at. Okay, thank you.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I don't think that it would put him in future pay. He's got a pretty significant arrearage.
It would not. Okay.
It would take his arrearage down pretty significantly, I believe, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you when you introduce the financial activity report. I'll try to figure this. I'll figure that part out exactly. All right. Any other questions of this witness at this time, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm gonna let the state call the next witness, please. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I apologize. I assumed, and maybe shame on me for assuming, I assumed that the financial activity report was attached to the.
Oh, it probably was. It's just that I hadn't taken judicial notice of it yet, or I'll double check that in just a second. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. And I should have reviewed that, Your Honor.
No problem.
I'm still learning to work with these things. I like them less and
I've been
less the
doing this
more I
20
see of
plus
them.
years, and I'm still learning to work with these things. So don't worry about it. You may proceed with your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, will you state your full name, please?
James Barr Jones.
Mr. Jones, I saw you shaking your head, so I believe that there's a lot of things that I raise that you're going to disagree with. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's I guess let's start at the beginning. Miss Lopez said that your daughter went to live with you. She believed that it was sometime in August of 2022. You agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Okay. And then where were you living when your daughter came to live with you?
That's where her first mistake is. My primary residence is my
Sir,
mother's house.
sir. Don't make commentary. Just listen to the question and answer the
Okay.
question.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
don't talk about somebody else's testimony. Just give your own. Thank you.
So where were you living at when your daughter first came to live with you? Where was?
I live at my mother's house.
Oh, okay. All right. So the house that she dropped your daughter off was your mother's house?
No, she was.
And here comes the financial issue that could decide this entire dispute. Mom confirms that she continued receiving regular child support payments during the period when Dad says he should receive credit. The judge now has to determine whether that payment history supports an adjustment to the arrears, and if so, how much. This is why those financial records matter so much. One side sees a potential credit that could significantly reduce the arrears. The other side argues that the payments should not be treated that way. What would you decide if you were the judge? Credit the father for the period the child was living elsewhere, or keep the support obligation unchanged?